Hello everyone and welcome back to another Stormworks update video. In this video we're covering the update as of today, which is 0.10.7. As always, we'll go over new features and changes we made, and finally we'll test few of them out here in the world of Stormworks. Now if you're enjoying this video, comment below and what else you'd like to see in any of my future videos. While there, don't forget that like and subscribe button and click the little bell icon to notify me of upcoming content as soon as it gets posted. So said, let's get straight into it and start with this week's updates. So to get started with this week's update, the first feature that devs have gone added is going to be the dedicated server authorized list. Now pretty much what this means is that anyone who is an admin or an authorized player is only going to be allowed to go and spawn vehicles in, and also able to go and modify your date and time, so your creative menu. Okay, all other players that actually join servers are no longer allowed to actually spawn any vehicles in or change any of the settings for the actual map itself. Now to actually add players on, it's quite simple. All you have to do is open up your menu here, go to your chat, and to add an authorized player, all you have to do is type !add _auth, and then you need to go and choose what number of player they are on the server. Okay, so for example, if we just exit this off and I hold down, you can see one player has joined the server, number 4 here. So what you can do is go in and we can type in number 4, and now he is going to be an authorized user. He can go and spawn vehicles in as he feels like he wants to. Okay, if I wanted to remove him, all we would have to do is go back, ! we can go and remove _auth and go and choose his name once again. I think he's number 4. Let's just double check. He is, great. And remove authorization for number 4. Okay, and he no longer can go and spawn things in. Okay, along with that, we can also add admins and remove admins. Exactly the same process, just ! add _admin and choose their number, whatever player they are. Okay, same process to remove, just instead type in remove _auth and choose the player number. Okay, those are the 4 new commands that we have with regards to the authorized player list here on dedicated servers. So players can now either go and spawn their vehicles in, or you're limiting them to not being able to spawn anything in. Along with that, also the creative menu, so they won't be able to access the creative menu anymore. Along with that, the next thing the devs have gone and added in this week is the ability to go and look at your server list in Steam. So you can go up to the top left in Steam here, you can click on view, you can then go on to servers, and in your servers tab you can actually now go and see all the Stormworks servers. To do that, it's quite straightforward. All you have to do is go over to your internet, go down to change filters, choose your game types. I'm going to go and choose Stormworks in the list here. There we go, and you'll now see it's going to pop up with all the Stormworks servers that are currently available to join. Now you can see the different names, along with that obviously the game, number of players, and also the latency of that server itself. So you can see the best one at the moment there is the FR, which is French server over there. My list is just over there, so you can see the UK MrNJersey official server. You can currently see that we have a latency of 78 on my server currently from my location. Now the cool thing with this is obviously you can save these on your favorites if you want to. You can also go and connect to the server, so what that'll do is open up Stormworks for you. So that's great, so you actually don't have to go and search in the actual game itself for the server you want to join. So it's a nice little addition. Along with that, we've got a couple other things that have been also added in this week, and that's going to be the form of some new commands. Now you can see here, I'm just on my server at the moment. You can see the actual server is running. Now the new commands that we have in are going to be the new server settings. Okay, so the new server setting is going to be the following. We can despawn on leave. So for example, if I open up my config file just over here, we can see that all my settings in here, and as I said earlier, we have a new setting which is called despawn on leave. Now by default, that is on false. If you were to go and change it to true, that is going to despawn the player's vehicles, whatever vehicles they've spawned in while they've been on that server. If they decide to disconnect from the server, it's going to go and despawn those vehicles. Now this is a cool addition, because obviously what we're finding is that a lot of players were joining servers, they were going and using their creations, crashing them, and just leaving them all over the server. And obviously the more creations you have in the server, the slower the server is going to get. So this ability to actually despawn their creations when they leave the server is a really cool thing. I really like it. I think it's a great addition. Okay, along with that, we have a couple other different settings also. And these are going to be the new dedicated server, new command line arguments. Okay, now what these do is you have two options. The first option is to change the directory of the config file. By default, it's saved here in your app data. Okay, and the second option you have is the IP bind. Okay, so you can literally bind everything to a certain IP address. So if you wanted to, if you had multiple IP addresses on the same server, a lot of hosting servers have this, you could actually bind it to a specific one using this argument. Now, how you use these command line arguments is you need a bat file. Now, I'm not going to go into how to work with bat files and how to create them and so on and so forth. I'm just going to show you a very basic way of doing it here. Is I'm just going to go and create a text document. In here, I'm just going to call it, let's call it test, okay? I'm going to open that document up. Okay, so you can see it's been opened up here. And what we want to do is we want to tell it, hey, start. Okay, and we're going to tell it to start Stormworks. Okay, and we want it to start that folder there, or that exe. Okay, so I'm going to go into it. I'm going to grab its location. So just go and grab it just from here. I'm going to paste it in here. So start C program files, Steam, I want to go and put our commas here because it's got a space into it. Okay, anything with a space, you want to go and put that in, and then we're going to go and tell it to start server.exe. Okay, now we can stop right there. We want to test it. All we need to do is go to file, save as. You can see we're going to save it as test.bat. We're going to change text document to all types, and we're going to click save. You will notice now that it's gone and saved a little batch folder. Okay, so you can go and open that up, and hopefully by theory that's gone and started the server for us. Okay, there we go, generating train lines, wait for a couple seconds. We're going to get the green light saying it's up and running. Perfect, up and running. We can close that off now. Okay, let's go back into it. Okay, so we're going to go back and edit it, and now what we want to do is we want to add the argument. Okay, we're going to add this server directory to it. Okay, so just go at the end of it, go space, paste that in, and where you have directory, we can now change that to wherever we want. Okay, so we can make it a desktop, I can make it a different folder, I can change it completely to anywhere I want. Okay, so for my example right here, what we're going to do is we're going to put it here on the desktop. Okay, so I'm just going to go here, I'm going to go and look and see, grab that location of my desktop just over there. I'm going to go and paste that at the end. Okay, so server directory underscore C users, administrator, and desktop. Okay, and that's where I'm going to want it to go and save. Okay, just like that, nice and easy, nice and simple. Okay, what we can do then is we can go and press save. Okay, so that should have saved it now. We can go and open it up and run it again. You can see it's gone and opened and starting to run, and you can see in the background it's gone and created a server config on my desktop because that's where I chose it to do, and it's also going and putting the working server, okay, and the save. It's going to put all three folders on my desktop. So you can specify wherever you want that to go. By default, that goes into your app data that we can now change to wherever we want to. Okay, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We can of course go and close this because now it's got no config on it. Okay, and we can go and edit the config once again, and I can change this to whatever I want. I can still call it whatever else. We've already covered this in the previous update video of changing all these settings. And that's pretty much about it for doing all these new features they have. Along with that, there has been a whole bunch of improvements to performance in multiplayer. Okay, which is really cool. These performance improvements are really going to help the game out. I've seen quite a good change, especially when we have multiple vehicles on there. It's running much smoother. Definitely go check out the full list of all the changes and fixes they've made, but I just wanted to highlight some of the major ones that have come with this week's update. So that's it for this week's update. If you want to see a full list of the fixes and changes, make sure to go check out the announcement in the Stormworks official Discord server, and thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and found it entertaining and informative as always. See you in the next one.